Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. I didn't really have a topic for today, and today is quite a packed day and I just have a little bit of time here, so I figured, you know what, I'm cutting. I did a video about that when I started, but I haven't really been updating you guys, and it's been 6-ish weeks or so. So here we go. It's not necessarily just about my cut. I'm just gonna use what I've been thinking about throughout the process as a starting point to talk about some things related to nutrition, fasting, training, cutting, bulking. So, okay, if you're newer to the channel, I would typically be cutting with prolonged fasting as the main tool, meaning not eating anything for several days. So typically this would be for me a 60-hour fast that I do on a weekly basis when I don't eat anything, just have the salt water, and then I eat my maintenance calories and smash 3 or 4 heavy workouts on the other days, and then I repeat this the next week, right? And I would sprinkle in a longer fast at some point. And so you can go back to the original video if you want to see. I prefer prolonged fasting generally. And you can go back for a bigger, I talk more about why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it now, but I'm now instead not doing any prolonged fasting, just intermittent fasting with a daily deficit. So I eat 3 meals in an 8-hour eating window on the overwhelming majority of the days, and I can train more often, right? So just because of some things I'm going to go into, I'll say that you want to, unless the complete beginner to the gym that hasn't really built any muscle and has some extra fat, so the skinny fat person, they are the ones that really can just embrace, I'm going to cut fat and build muscle. If you approach the diet side of things as a cut, meaning you eat in a slight deficit with high enough protein, and you treat the training as a bulk, you just smash the workouts and you progressively overload, push the weights and reps up, fat is going to melt off of you and you're going to build muscle. It's just, that's how it happens at the start. And then as you get more and more advanced, this gets more and more difficult, and you should focus. If you're bulking, that's what you do. You're not trying to hold on to your leanness. You're smashing your workouts, you're eating in a calorie surplus. Your body weight and numbers in the gym should be slowly going up, and you should be putting on a little bit of fat. You shouldn't be scared of that when you're in a building phase. And then when you're cutting, you should eat in a calorie deficit, smash the workouts as well as you can, and then if you dial it in, if you use your calorie budget, as I call it, meaning using the amount of calories that are going to be smaller when you're on a deficit, obviously, you're eating less food in general. So, it's not only about macros. Like, the more value, the more nutritional value you can get from your amount of calories, the better, to support your recovery and all this, and sleep. And then if you manage to make some progress on the cuts, that's a bonus, but you're cutting, and you just so happen to make some progress, right? And so I'll say, because I've done this for like 6 weeks. I wanted to do it basically the intermittent fasting, like daily deficit way, because I'm going to be leaving Greece. I just want to be able to train more often, both for myself, but for social reasons. I have people I train with here. I just don't want to be turning down social events or having to fast at them, So I was fine with doing it this way. And I don't have a scale, which is not optimal. It's funny because I tell everyone to use a scale, all my clients, during a weight loss process. Like, do as I say, not as I do. No, but it would be better for me to have a scale too. But, I'm just someone that has successfully put on and lost weight many times. So it's not that I need it in order to be able to. It just would be good to have a closer look of the trend of things. But I'd say, because I don't have a scale, how I can appreciate just my strength, my aesthetics, how I feel when I feel the amount of fat on myself, I'd say I lost about 4 kilos in these 6 weeks, which is pretty good. And so it's been interesting. I'm going to talk about the training and that too. But something interesting has been that, I'm so used to eating till I'm nice and full. I'm kidding, that's an inside joke for the snake diet people. But, not holding back on food. That I either am bulking, and then if I just embrace my appetite, I eat the way I feel like it with some sort of base plan. But if I eat without holding back, then I'm going to eat in a slight surplus, And when I'm cutting with fasting, I'm eating, like maybe I'm holding back just a little bit with the food, but it's mainly the deficit comes from not eating anything during that longer fast. And then I don't have to think too much about holding back. And it's been a very interesting experience to do this. Like, this is part of the reason to do it as well, because I have some clients where it works better with their situation, that they do a daily deficit rather than a long fast. So it's, even if I would most times come back to cutting with prolonged fasting in most situations, it's been kind of cool to go back and have a look at it, what it's like. No, but I think everyone that's done a longer fast can relate to just, you know, if you haven't eaten for days, breaking the fast is great. It tastes great, right? But this is what I've noticed now when I'm eating on the daily, but I'm just holding back. I'm never eating till I'm like very satisfied. And I could definitely very often, without, because I don't have much food addiction, but I can, since I'm eating at a deficit, there are many times it's like it would be nice to be eating more. But what has happened is that I appreciate my meals so much more. Like instead, you know, I'm a guy living by myself, and since someone said it, it's been stuck with me. That I have a boring utilitarian diet, and I called it Chad or Alpha too, and I like that. I think your diet should be more about function, like does this nourish me? But then, you know, healthy foods taste good to you when you're not a junk food addict. But yeah, I'm also, when I'm just eating or bulking, I don't take time. We can, even if we keep it simple with the food, you know, we can make a little ritual and appreciate our food more. And maybe I've been the guy that sometimes like I cook a meal and basically eat it standing by the stove. And so now when I don't eat as often and not as much, I do so much more of a thing out of it. You know, I will put the meat there, and there's the carrot, and there's the kiwis, and maybe I have another piece of fruit, and I go out, put it on the balcony and sit in the sun. No phone or anything. I sit there and eat slowly. I really enjoy it. So I appreciate that. It's really made me appreciate my food more. It's funny, like not doing long fasting has made me appreciate the food more. But I want to talk about the training. The training has been so great, you know. So I've been approaching it exactly like I said, that I'm focusing on cutting, and then I'm just, you know, going through my workout program, doing it the best I can, but I will be happy to hold on to strength, and even I won't mind losing some strength. And like say for instance a squat, if you lose a ton of body weight, even if it's fat, you're most likely going to lose some strength. Presses too, you know, it's like the padding around the joints, but just imagine, you know, if you have a bit more fat on your chest, the bar path is literally slower, it's slower, shorter, right? So there's a lot to be expected, the strength loss that isn't necessarily, oh, you lost muscle or something. So many times I would be happy to hold on and even lose some strength, but because of the very slow approach, I've done it now, and I've just been dialing it in, you know, like I talked about earlier. I've been using my calorie budget so well. There's like no junk in my caloric deficit. It's a caloric deficit, but I'm eating my liver, eggs, steak, fruit, carrot, yogurt, berries, honey, you know, it's all good shit. And I've been executing, you know, this is more individual. I can't really say, I just know my body well and how it responds to volume and intensity with training. I've been like right in the sweet spot with my performance with the training, and I've been sleeping so well. I've really made it a priority. I sleep 8 hours almost every night. And this just leads to me being able to make some progress. Like there are some exercises that are more rewarding than others, like bench press, for instance, would typically not be rewarding cutting exercise, while weighted chin-ups or something, because you're losing body weight, you're going to become lighter. So, you know, if you used to have 20 kilos in a belt and do a certain amount of reps, you lose 5 kilos of fat. You put 20 kilo in it's huge. Like in chin-ups, like 1 kilo makes a big difference, you know. So usually those, if you do like weighted body weight exercises and that's often the most rewarding. But it's been very interesting. I've been managing to actually push up numbers on the bench press. Like I can't recall exactly with a flat bench throughout this time, but I've slowly been creeping up. And for instance, I can remember that last bench workout, I could do 3 sets of 5 with 105 kilos, but I just felt the last one was so grindy, like I had to go down in weight and finish. And then yesterday I did bench again, last time after that, and I could add another set, and I think I could have added another one. So it's very small progress, but you know, the more advanced you get and you're cutting, any type of progress is just amazing, you know. And so on the incline bench, I know I've done more of a pyramid, like reverse pyramid. I have one heavy top set and then I go down in weight, do more reps. And so I know that I started out doing like 2 reps on the incline bench with 100 kilos and maybe 3 with 95, 4 or 5 with 90, etc. I've added 1 rep to the 100 kilos. I did 3 the workout after, I did then 4. I added at least 1 rep to every set after that. The 1-arm chin-up training has been great. I've been progressing. I've been using a counterweight. Now I started doing with just 1 finger assisted on the other hand. I could do 1 rep first. Now I can do several sets of 2. With the leg workouts, it's a little different because I would, even if I wasn't cutting, I would be focusing more on rehab of the hip. Someone that's been following me for a time will have heard me talk about this hip a lot. Like, it's a back and forth thing. It's like it's a complicated injury, so it takes a long time to recover from, but it's also been that I focus a bit on it, so all of a sudden I can do the thing that I had been unable to do for a while, and then I go back to that, and the injury doesn't really get worse, but I stop it from improving. And now I'm just sick of it, like to having to think. I'm very good at training, both at rehabbing, fucking fly, come on. Both at rehabbing and training around injuries. But now for a little too long, I just trained around this injury, and it would be so nice to just, but it's gone. But I've been making nice progress too. I've been doing, for this reason, it's on one side. Fucking fly, it's so annoying. I've been doing Bulgarian split squats because it's on one side. If I go too heavy on two-sided things, my strong side is going to take over. So I'm trying to just work the left side, so that the injured area gets hit. I train the left side first, and then I never do more with the right side. And I've been progressing nicely there as well. But yeah, I guess that's it, guys. I could give you a little peek at the physique. I think I'm starting to look pretty good now. Yeah, those are my observations. It's very interesting, I guess, this with recomping, again, it's really if you're a skinny fat beginner, like, then it's going to be easy. Like, I've talked about it on the channel before, like, that's the typical person that comes to a personal trainer in the gym, right? And I just saw these clients I had, when the only thing that changed in their life was that they started doing a couple of intense weight workouts per week with me. They lost fat too, But then as you get more advanced, like I say, you really should, just as I'm cutting officially, I'm not recomping, I'm not, that's not my plan right now, that I'm trying to build a muscle or get stronger as I'm cutting fat. But it really goes to show that when you nail everything down, use the calorie budget well, program your training well, recover well with good amount of sleep, you actually, even when you're more advanced, you can do that. But these things, there's a side of me that wants to teach this, see, if you nail it down, you can almost accomplish magic. There's another side to me that want to say, don't listen to this. Please don't listen to this and be like, see, I can cut fat and build muscle. No, it's like every time when you get too greedy and you try too much to do something, you stand there stomping in between. You're eating too much to lose weight, but you're, I don't know, moving too much or blah blah to put on muscle. You're just in between. So I just want you to keep that in mind, that when you're cutting, like, you don't even mind losing some strength or stalling in some lifts, because that's going to change again when you get back to bulking. But that's the bonus. A cut done when everything is dialed in, you can actually make some progress with the strength and muscle as well. So, okay, guys, is there anything else that came to mind to you? For you, whatever, with nutrition, fasting or training, please let me know. I'm really, especially the training and bodybuilding content, I think I'm gonna up more. I have plans on upping that more, but it's always great. To me, I have so much thoughts. I have so much philosophy around the training and nutrition and diet and programming, all this, exercise selection, volume, intensity, sets, reps, blah blah blah. I have so much around it, so that it's almost a little difficult to know where to start. I would almost like to start with like a long video, if I sit down and do some PowerPoint presentation. But so it really helps when you guys tell me, like, what would you like to know? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I got I hit this my earphones, and I treated it as if it was the fly, because I've been annoyed with the fly so many times, but that was all me. Okay, that's on me, guys. So please comment and like. You can send me a DM if you're interested in coaching. DM me on Instagram or email me. I coach training, nutrition, fasting, mindset, all that kind of cool shit. I have some different options, or I have a special offer now in the summer. So if you want to know more about that, reach out. It's all in the description. Please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, mindset. It's a mindset, guys. You're either bulking or cutting, but done right, you can actually almost kind of do both. Okay, guys, peace.